All right, hello everyone. So today we're gonna return to our Marvel Champions gameplay series. Today we are going to be playing as Rogue. So Rogue, her mutant ability is that when she touches certain people, she gains their mutant abilities essentially. So she's got a card that she can attach to different characters, and if it's attached to different types of characters, she will gain different abilities. So if it's attached to a minion, she gains Overkill. To a villain, she gains Retaliate. To an ally, she gains the Aerial trait. And to a hero, she gains Stalwart. And once per round, with her ability on here, she's able to attach that to a character. Then that will stay attached unless... like, for example, if it's attached to a minion and that minion gets defeated, then it would just get set aside. But otherwise, it will stay on whoever it's attached to until the beginning of the next player phase. So it'll last through the villain phase, and then at the beginning of the next player phase, it will get detached and set aside. And then she could reattach it to the same person if she wanted to, but she can choose a different person each time. On her alter ego side, when she flips to this side, all it says is that she just takes the touched card and sets it aside, so she can't have it attached while she's in alter ego form. Otherwise, her alter ego form is pretty standard. She heals for 3 and all that kind of stuff. She is a protection character, so she is going to have a bunch of green protection cards in her deck, like Unflappable, which is after you defend and take no damage, exhaust it and draw a card. And then this is actually this card is originally from the Vision hero pack. That's why she's an android. When you play her, you can put a defense event from your discard pile and put it on her, and then you can play it from her as if it was in your hand. So if I had a defense event, then I could play that put that on from my discard pile onto her. The villain that we're going to be going against today is the scenario is called Project Wideawake, and the villain is specifically called Sentinel. He's not the only Sentinel that we'll be fighting. He's just like the main one, basically. As you can see, we have a lot of side schemes. One of them, the top one there, Operation Zero Tolerance, is going to gain permanent during this particular scenario, and that comes from the main scheme, so we're never going to be able to get rid of that scheme, so that'll just sit there, and that side scheme becomes a alternate loss condition for us in this scenario. So that side scheme says if an ally would be defeated by an enemy attack, you place it face down under there. And then the other way we place cards face down under there is on the main scheme. It says after threat is placed on it, if there is at least 5 threat, the first player places the top card of their deck under Operation Zero Tolerance, then removes 5 threat. So we won't lose if he schemes too much just by the main scheme, but if he schemes too much, we will put cards underneath Operation Zero Tolerance. And then if there are at least 4 cards under Operation Zero Tolerance, we lose. So it's a number of players plus 3. The other 2 side schemes that we have in play are ones that start in play with this scenario, but we are able to actually get rid of them. So the next one down is Mutants at the Mall. That one has an acceleration icon on it, so it'll make the main scheme go faster. And then when we defeat that one, we have to find a Sentinel minion and put it in play with us. But then on the back side of this side scheme, we get, when we defeat it, if I can pick up the card, we get Jubilee as an ally. So we can have her as an ally when we complete that scheme. And then the last one that starts in play is Abduction Protocols, which starts with a crisis icon, so we can't thwart the main scheme while it's in play. And it is, when defeated, we get to get a set-aside captive ally. So this works similar to how the captive allies work in the Taskmaster scenario, where there's these set-aside allies at the beginning of the game. And whenever we defeat the Abduction Protocols side scheme, we will be able to get one of these. The Abduction Protocol side scheme, we start with one in play, and then we can defeat it, and then there's other copies of it in the deck, and then if we shuffle the deck and get that one back, we can end up getting more than one of those allies, but we're guaranteed the possibility of getting at least one. Okay, then the Sentinel starts with tough, but we can get rid of that with some damage. And then the rest of his text is just the when revealed to put the abduction protocols into play. I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and take a look at my starting hand. So I got an energy resource card. I got superpower adaptation. If touched is attached to a friendly character, search that owner's discard pile for an event and add it to your hand. So this is kind of cool in Alter Ego or in multiplayer. If you're playing multiplayer, you can attach touched to another player's hero and then take an event card from their discard pile and play it, which is kind of cool. Unflappable, we talked about. If you defend and take no damage, draw a card. This is the one I'm probably going to want to play this round, going rogue. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If she has aerial, remove 2 additional. If she has retaliate, confuse an enemy. If she has stalwart, draw a card. I'm definitely going to want to play that card this round. Energy transfer, attach touch to a character other than rogue and deal 2 damage to that character. Heal 2 damage from rogue and ready her. You gain each of the attached character traits until the end of the round. This would be a better one for me to play next round after I've defended and possibly taken damage. And then we have the Jocasta ally, which we had already talked about. Okay, so I don't think I have anything in alter ego form that I want to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip to hero form. And I would like to give rogue aerial so I can remove extra threat with going rogue, but that would mean I would have to play an ally first, which I might want to do anyway. So let's go ahead and let's do 3 resources, and we'll go ahead and play Jocasta. When she enters play, find a defense event in your discard pile and attach it to her face down. I don't have any. I didn't draw any defense events this first hand. But then, as my once per round action, I'm going to attach touched to Jocasta. So now that gives rogue the aerial trait. And then I'm going to spend 2 more resources from my hand and play going rogue. I'm going to remove 3 threat from a scheme, and then since she has aerial, I'm going to remove 2 additional. So I'm going to remove 4, and I'm going to do it from abduction protocols. I was able to remove 5, but nothing had more than 4. So abduction protocols, as I said, says when defeated, the player who defeated it takes a random set-aside captive ally and puts it into play under their control. So we'll discard abduction protocols, and then we get these 4 cards, pick one randomly, and get one of these allies in play. All right, we get Richter. After Richter attacks, deal 1 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with you. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to attack for 1 with Richter, and that is going to get rid of the Sentinel's tough. And then after he attacks, we deal 1 damage to him anyway, and each minion engaged with me, but I don't have any minions yet. And then let's have both Jocasta and Rogue thwart for 2 each. And let's finish the mutants at the mall. So I'm going to have to see. First player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Sentinel minion and reveals it. Flip this card and put Jubilee into play, discarding any other version of Jubilee from play. So what that means is I basically can go find any version of Sentinel that I want. I don't have to like discard until I find the first one that comes out. I can go find any version of Sentinel I want. So I'm just going to basically find the least bad version of Sentinel and play it. Okay, One nice thing that I am doing is I'm going back to doing the encounter sets in alphabetical order. So normally this encounter set this scenario requires you to use the Sentinels encounter set, which adds even more of these robot minions. But that one you're able to take that one out and replace it with something else. So I took that one out and replaced it with the next encounter set, which is Legions of Hell. So I've got some Draugrs and other cool things in here. But that also means that we don't get any of the super big Sentinels. So Sentinel Mark IV is the biggest Sentinel we're going to have in this deck today. The Sentinels encounter set is the one that adds Mark 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, but we don't have to deal with 5, 6, 7, 8. So the Roman numeral in the title is going to tell you how much health they have, and then each one has different abilities. So Sentinel Mark II has 2 health, and then it says, when revealed, if Operation Zero Tolerance is in play, Sentinel Mark II gains Search. That wouldn't be happening because it is just getting put into play, not revealed, I believe. Let's look at that. Mutants at the mall one more time, make sure. So it says Sentinel minion and reveal. Oh, it does say and reveals it. Okay, so we would have to deal with the revealed text. Okay, so if we do this one, we will have to get another encounter card. This one comes in with Tough, and when revealed, search the encounter deck for the energy barrier attachment and attach it. And then this one has Guard and Patrol, so we wouldn't be able to attack the main guy or thwart the main scheme. So I think probably Mark III is probably our best option right now. Let's see if we hate that energy attachment. Let's see, energy barrier attachment. Let's see how bad that is. The energy barrier attachment gives him +2 attack and gives him a tough status card every time he attacks. Ouch. I wasn't really going to do that much damage to him right now anyway, so the Guard Patrol might actually be better. So let's go find a Sentinel Mark IV and put him into play. So we've got a Sentinel Mark IV. He's got 4 health, Guard, and Patrol. So I just can't attack or thwart the 2 main things. Okay, so we're going to shuffle the deck. And then Jubilee will, let's see, we can exhaust Jubilee and spend a lightning resource to deal 2 damage to an enemy. I don't have any resources left because I spent my whole hand. So let's save her. I think. Well, I might as well do 1. Because if I use her ability, she won't take any damage. The other nice thing about Jubilee is that she's got the victory keyword, so if she gets knocked out, she will not go underneath Operation Zero Tolerance. She will be removed from play instead. Okay, so let's go ahead and ready everything. I love all the free allies. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, new hand. Let's see what we got. Okay, I've got Bulletproof Bell, so now I drew a defense event. When an enemy with touched attached to it attacks, prevent all damage from that attack and gain a tough status card. Right now I don't have touched attached to an enemy because I can't move it until next round. Got going rogue again. Nerves of Steel, upgrade, exhaust it to generate an energy resource for a defense event. Iceman ally, he enters play with 3 freeze counters. After a minion enters play, remove 1 freeze counter and stun that minion. And Iron Fist ally, enters play with 2 counters. When he attacks, remove a counter, stun that enemy, and deal a damage to it. Got a decent hand, but it's really unfortunate that I drew this when I attached touched to not an enemy, but that's all right. Okay, so at the beginning of his turn, he's going to get 1 threat. Then he is going to attack me for 2, and I do not want any of my allies to take it because I don't want them to go under 0 tolerance. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, let's see, do I even want to defend it? I'm going to take 2 damage from the Mark IV as well. I think I'd like to stay readied. Because I don't have any attack cards in my hand, so I'd like to get rid of that Mark IV if I can by attacking it this next round. I suppose I could always play one of my allies and have them attack it. That might be better. Yeah, I'll defend it. Okay, so he's attacking for 2 plus 0. Dang it, I wish I hadn't defended it now. And then I'll take the 2 damage from Mark IV, so I take 2. All right, and then I get an encounter card, which is a Draugr. Look at that. When revealed, choose to either take 1 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. I will take 1 damage. Well, now I got 2 guards. So much for getting rid of my guards, because now I got 2 of them. Okay, I'm going to use Jubilee right away, so I can exhaust her and spend an energy resource to deal 2 damage to an enemy. So I only have 1 energy resource in my hand. I'm going to spend Nerves of Steel, and I'm going to deal 2 damage to the Sentinel Mark IV. Then I'm going to hit the Draugr for 1 with Richter. After he attacks, deal 1 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with you. And that damage is dealt. It's not part of, it's separate from his attack, so that actually can go through to the villain. And then that would be 1 more damage to the Draugr, and then the Mark IV would be 1 more damage, which would take it out. So there's the 1 more damage to the Draugr. Then I need to do 1 more damage yet to the Draugr. So let's do that with Jocasta. She'll get knocked out, but she's getting knocked out with consequential damage, not from being attacked by the villain or an enemy, so she is not going to go under 0 tolerance. Let's see. I'm going to take my touched card and I'm going to attach it to I'm going to attach it to the villain. So I'm going to attach that to Sentinel, and I'm just going to slide it under here for now. Okay, so while it's attached to the villain, I have Retaliate 1. So when he attacks me, I'll deal damage back. Then I'm going to pay these 3 resources, and I'm going to put Iceman into play. He enters with 3 freeze counters. And then I'm going to attack with him and take out the Draugr. And then those ice counters will be used if a minion enters play. So if a minion enters play, I will remove one of those counters and stun that minion. Okay, And I think that's going to be it for my turn. So let's go ahead and ready everything. And draw my new hand of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what we get. Okay, so I got a Genius Resource card. I got Superpower Adaptation, which we talked about already. I can pull an event out of a discard pile. Desperate Defense, when your hero defends, gets +2. If you take no damage, ready your hero. I got 2 copies of that. And then Southern Cross deals 6 damage to an enemy, and then depending on which trait I have, it will do different things. Okay, so he's going to get 1 threat on his scheme, and then he's going to attack me for 2. I'm going to defend, and I'm going to play Desperate Defense. I'm just going to use 1 Desperate Defense to play the other because I don't need to play both. So give myself +2 defense, so I'm defending for 4. If I take no damage, I will ready my hero. Okay, so he's hitting me for 2, plus 2 is 4. I take no damage, so I ready my hero. All right. And then I am going to get an encounter card, which is Sentinel Mark III. Comes in with tough. And we put the energy barrier on it. So we have to go find that energy barrier that we talked about earlier. And put that on him. But then, after a minion enters play, remove 1 freeze counter from Iceman and stun that minion. So he's tough and stunned and has that energy barrier. He's got all kinds of stuff attached to him. Okay. Slide over some of my stuff here. Okay, so he's got that energy barrier attached to him. So if he attacks, he gets his tough card back, if he doesn't already have it. He's going to skip his next attack because he's stunned. And I think that's everything. Okay, so then it's my turn. And thankfully the Mark III does not have guard because I got my big attack card. So I am going to take my touched card, which is currently attached to the villain, and I think do I want to just leave it there? Oh, speaking of which, he should have taken a retaliate damage from when he attacked me because of touched being attached to him. I think I'm going to just leave it on him. So that, and then my whole turn, as far as cards goes, is going to be spending these 3 resources to play Southern Cross, deal 6 damage, and then since I have retaliate, I'm going to stun the enemy that I attacked. So I'm going to deal 6 damage and stun to Sentinel. So he'll be down to 7. And he's stunned. Okay, so then I'm going to use Richter. I'm going to use his last attack to deal a damage to the minion. So that'll get rid of his tough. And then after he attacks, he deals a damage to the villain and each minion engaged with me. So he's going to give him a damage and damage to the minion or to the villain. And then again, he was knocked out by consequential damage, so he is just going to be discarded and not go under 0 tolerance. And then as far as I know, since he doesn't have the victory keyword and they gave him a blue back, as far as I know, he goes to my discard and he could possibly be shuffled back in. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but I think so. Okay, then I would like to kill the Mark III because I don't want him to... Granted, I don't have to kill him right now because he's stunned. So I could just throw everything at Sentinel while I've got him. So yeah, so let's do Thwart for 2 + 1 with Rogue and Jubilee. And let's get this main scheme taken care of. And then with Iceman, I will attack for 2 and give him another damage. And I'm going to throw that on to Sentinel because they're both stunned, so neither of them are going to attack anyway. Okay. Let's ready and draw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's see what I got here. Okay, so I got Sidestep. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of it. If you paid for it with a yellow card, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Preemptive Strike. When a boost card is turned face up, cancel all boost icons, deal 1 damage to the villain for each. Same card. And Southern Cross again. Then Gambit Ally. He enters play with 3 counters. When he attacks, remove 1 and deal 1 damage to an enemy. Okay, so I got to decide which of these 3 defense events I want to play. Really, it's only 2. Either one is fine. I think I want to do Preemptive Strike. I guess the nice thing is that I get to wait until after the boost card is flipped for both of them, because this one is you have to wait until the boost card is flipped because it deals with the boost card, and then this one I can wait until the boost card is flipped because I have to know the full amount of damage before I play it. So I'm not going to defend with anybody. He's going to get 1 threat on the main scheme, and then he's going to attack me. Oh, it doesn't matter because they're stunned, so it doesn't even matter. Never mind, I forgot about that. So I'm not going to play any of those. Those guys are both stunned. I might still, depending on what the encounter card is, I guess. Okay, encounter card is another Sentinel Mark III. Gross. Okay, so he comes in with Tough. I don't know if there's more than 1 copy of the Energy Barrier. Let's find out. There is more than 1 copy. Okay. All right, so now we've got 2 Mark IIIs with Energy Barrier. Definitely will be killing one of them then. Okay. So then we're gonna go to my turn. And, oh, I grabbed it, but then I didn't actually put it on him. There we go. Okay, so let's do, that would work. Yeah, so I'm gonna take my touched card off of Sentinel, and I'm going to attach it to this Sentinel Mark III, which gives me the overkill. All of my attacks gain overkill. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Southern Cross. So I'm going to spend 3 resources and play Southern Cross, and I'm going to deal 6 damage to an enemy, and I'm going to deal it to the Sentinel Mark III. And then I do not have any of these things because I have overkill instead. But since it has overkill, I'm going to deal 6 damage to the Mark III, and then the other damage is going to go to Sentinel. So touched is then going to come off, and I'm going to knock out this Sentinel Mark III and his Energy Barrier. And discard those, and then the other 4 damage are going to go to the Sentinel, and so then he's going to go to his second form. He's going to regain his Tough, and then now on this one he has Steady, which means it's going to take 2 stuns or 2 confuses to fully stun or confuse him, And it looks like he resets to 18 health. Okay, so I still have this other Mark III that I need to deal with. So I'm going to exhaust Jubilee, and I'm going to spend Gambit as an energy resource since he's got a wild resource to... Oh, I guess I need to get rid of the tough first. After a minion entered play, he was supposed to be stunned because of Iceman. Okay, so let's get rid of... So since he's stunned again, let's just focus on the main guy. So let's do... I'm going to be wasting an attack either way, so let's do 2 attack with Rogue and get rid of his tough. Then I'll do Jubilee, 2 damage. And then I'm going to save Iceman just in case another minion comes into play. Okay. We're going to draw cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, defensive energy, I can play it to play a defense event. Well, you can use it for anything, but if you use it to play a defense event, you also get to draw a card. Defense event, I do not have touched attached to an enemy again. That's unfortunate. Rogue's Jacket, she gets +1 thwart if touched is attached to a friendly character, +1 attack if it's attached to an enemy character. Endurance, she gets extra health. And then this is her team up card with Gambit, and I just discarded Gambit. But if I had the ability to play it, I would deal 4 damage to an enemy and remove 4 threat from a scheme. Okay. Well, I will be playing Rogue's Jacket and Endurance on my next turn, and then that's going to be it, pretty much. Okay, so then he is going to gain 1 threat. Then he is going to attack for 3. I'm going to defend it. And it's going to be an attack of 3, 4, 5. I defend for 2, so I'm going to take 3 damage. And then the Mark III would try to attack, but he's stunned. Then I'm going to get a encounter card, which is Warn the Others. After your turn ends, place this card face down under Operation Zero Tolerance. Or as an alter ego action, I can exhaust my identity and discard this card. So this is going to end up going under Zero Tolerance. Since I exhausted, I'm not going to be able to get rid of that. So at the end of my next turn, that's going to go under Zero Tolerance, which is okay because that's 1 of 4 cards. So we'll be okay. All right, so on my turn, I'm going to spend Beauty and the Thief and Defensive Energy as 2 resources to play Rogue's Jacket and Endurance. So I'll put Rogue's Jacket here. Endurance, I'm just going to slide underneath, and I'm going to immediately get 3 hit points. 1, 2, 3. And then I need to deal with... I'm actually going to spend Bulletproof Bell to do that. That way I have an energy resource. Not that it's going to matter. Shoot. I am not going to be able to get rid of the Sentinel Mark III because of his tough. That being the case, I think what I'm going to do is I actually am going to keep the Bulletproof Bell. And then as my once per round, I am going to attach Touched. I'm going to reattach it to the Sentinel to get Retaliate. And then I am going to... Let's keep Iceman again. And I think I'm just going to hold on to Jubilee as well. I'll use Jubilee and get 1 threat off of here, just so I'm not going to end up with getting too many cards under 0 tolerance. I'm going to hold on to Iceman just in case a minion comes out. And then we're going to ready everything. And I'm going to hold on to Bulletproof Bell, and I'm going to draw 4. Got another Southern Cross. Awesome. Dauntless is while your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater starting hit points, you gain Retaliate. Superpower Adaptation we've seen. And Armor Ally. Only if you have the X-Men trait, and she comes in with Tough, and then after that she's a pretty basic. So she comes in for 1 big block, and then after that she's kind of simple. Okay, so then I am going to give Sentinel 1 threat. Oh, after my turn ends, I have to put this under 0 tolerance. Okay, so there is 1 card under 0 tolerance. Okay. So he gets his 1 threat. He's going to attack me. When an enemy with touched attached to it attacks, prevent all damage from that attack and gain a tough status card. So I'm going to spend Superpower Adaptation and play Bulletproof Bell. So I'm going to prevent all damage from this attack, so I'm not going to defend. So he's attacking for 3, 4, and exhausting my identity. He made me exhaust anyway. That's annoying. But I don't take any damage, and I gain a tough card. Okay. Then this guy attacks me, and I'm going to just take his attack, unfortunately. Oh, it's fine, because I just gained a tough card, so that's just going to go away. So he attacked me. If he didn't already have a tough, since he attacks, he would regain that tough. That's fine. Okay. Okay, this is important. So he attacked me, and I have Retaliate, so he takes a damage. Then... I wonder what the resolution order of this is. So he attacked me, and I would retaliate, which would get rid of his tough. And then after this minion attacks, give it a tough. I'm guessing he would lose it and then regain it. So we'll just go with that for now. I'm not sure what the rule is, so we'll go with the rule that is less good for me. That's fine. Okay, then I have to get an encounter card, which is Legions of Hell's Side Scheme. Place 2 additional threat here for each undead minion in play. There are none in play, so this card gains Surge. So it's going to come in with 2 threat, and I have to do another encounter card. All right, and after my turn ends, place this card under... Oh my gosh, that's really annoying. That's the only way that I'm getting things under 0 tolerance is from that card, because it keeps exhausting me right before I get it. All right, well, I can't play Southern Cross this turn. That sucks. I guess I'm going to play Armor. She comes in with Tough. And then, man, this is unfortunate. I think I'm going to... Oh man, I think I'm going to use Jubilee to get rid of his tough. And that knocks her out, but she has the victory keyword, so she just gets set off to the side. And then I'm going to use Iceman and Armor, unfortunately wasting her tough. Iceman gets knocked out, but again, it's from consequential damage, so he just goes to my discard pile. I'm going to use both of them to get rid of the Sentinel Mark III. If I can pick up the cards. And then I think I'm gonna keep touched attached to Sentinel so that I can keep retaliate. And go ahead and ready and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I got a strength card. I got desperate defense, so +2 if you take no damage, ready. Sidestep, prevent 3 if you paid for it with a yellow resource, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Going rogue, thwart card, and energy transfer. Attach touch to a character, heal 2 damage from rogue, and ready her. Okay, so he's gonna gain 1 threat. And then he is going to attack me for 3. I'm going to defend. And I'm going to use energy transfer to play desperate defense. So I'm defending for 4. He's attacking for 3. So he's hitting me for 3. Attach this card to the villain. The villain gets +8 hit points. Spend 3 energy resources to discard this card. Gross. I also realized I forgot to put warn the others underneath 0 tolerance again. I'll grab that and stick that underneath. So he gets +8 hit points. Not a fan of that. He does lose 1 because he attacked me and I have retaliate. I took no damage though, so I ready. All right. And then I get an encounter card. Another abduction protocols side scheme, so I can get another ally if I get rid of that one. Oh, speaking of which, the abduction protocols side scheme that I defeated earlier had the victory keyword, so that comes out of play. Not that I'm anywhere near shuffling the deck right now, but good to do things correctly. Okay, so then it's my turn. Let's try to get rid of that abduction protocols. So let's do... I'm going to keep touched attached to Sentinel. I have no energy resources in my hand right now, so I cannot get rid of adaptive armor. I'm going to spend 2 resources from strength and play Going Rogue and remove 3 threat from a scheme. I'm going to remove it from abduction protocols. Then I'm going to use armor, her 1 thwart, to finish abduction protocols. And let's do it correctly this time. That has victory, so that comes out of the game. And then I'm going to randomly get one of the set aside captive allies. All right, I got Cannonball. He takes -1 consequential damage if he attacks and defeats a minion. Too bad I have no minions in play right now. Okay. All right, then I have 1 card left in my hand that I can't play right now, so we're just gonna all-out attack right now, I think. So we're just gonna do 4 damage to Sentinel. Just need to knock him out. And then Cannonball needs a consequential damage, and then we're going to go to our next round. And I'm going to hold on to Sidestep and draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet. I had exactly 4 cards left in my deck. No extra encounter card for me this round. Okay, I got Defensive Energy. Draw a card after you use it to play a defense event. 2 copies of Sidestep, so because I kept 1, saved the other. Prevent 3. Preemptive Strike, cancel boost icons, deal them to him, and then X-Gene was the last card in my deck. It would have been nice if it was the first card in my deck. Generate a resource for an identity-specific event. Would have been nice a long time ago, game. Okay, so he's going to gain 1 threat on the scheme. He's going to attack me for 3. Same thing as before, preemptive strike and sidestep I can play after he reveals the card. So I'm not going to defend. He's going to take a retaliate damage, so I'm going to do that now so I don't forget. So he's attacking me for 3, 4, and oh my god, and exhausting my identity. Can you please stop exhausting my identity even when I don't defend? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I defend for 2. He hit me for 4. So let's do sidestep. So I'm going to do defensive energy and sidestep. Actually, no, let's do preemptive strike. I think that makes more sense. So when a boost card is turned face up, when the villain attacks, cancel all boost icons. So I cancel one of them. Then deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled. So he's going to take 1. And then I'm going to use defensive energy to play it. Or let's not do that, actually, because I don't want to deal with an extra encounter card right now, and that would make me draw a card. So let's do it this way. I'm going to do one of my 2 sidesteps to play preemptive strike. So I'm going to cancel the boost icon, deal it back to him. And so he's dealing 3 damage to me. I defend for 2, so I take 1. Down to 7, and he takes 1, down to 16. And then I take, and I already gave him the retaliate. Okay. Ooh. Actually, this might be better. Yeah, this is better. So instead of doing the preemptive strike, I didn't think about this. I'm going to use 1 sidestep to play another sidestep. So instead of dealing 1 more damage to him by canceling the boost icon, instead I'm going to prevent 3 damage. So I'm also not going to take a damage. Because then I have left in my hand 2 wilds and a yellow, so that's 3 yellows, so I can, on my turn, I can get rid of his adaptive armor, which is essentially an attack of 8 damage because he's going to lose his extra 8 hit points. Definitely doing that. Okay, so then it is his turn to give me an encounter card. I get the villain attacks you. Of course he does. Shoot. I might just have to let this go through because I don't want either of these to go underneath 0 tolerance. Darn it. Well, no matter what, he's going to take a retaliate damage, so there's that at least. Dang it. Yep, I'm just going to have to take it. 3, and put Sentinel Mark 4 into play engaged with you. Dang it. So I take 3 damage. And now I could play these, but getting rid of that adaptive armor is more important. All right, my turn. Okay, so then I'm going to immediately spend these 3 lightning resources to get rid of his adaptive armor. And that brings him down 8 health, down to 8. And then the Mark IV has guard and patrol, so I need to get rid of him. Of course, he has 3 health, or 4 health, so I can't get rid of him with these 2 cards. Dang it. I'm still going to hit him. No, I think I'm going to... It's probably not going to matter, but let's try to make it matter. Oh, I can't. Dang it. Let's thwart for 2 on Legions of Hell and get rid of that. And that's going to knock out armor and give another damage to Cannonball. Okay, and then I am not going to change to Alter Ego form. I probably should, but he's already going to make me put one more card on top of my deck because Knight of the Sentinels is going to finish. Oh, man. If he hadn't gotten that stupid adaptive armor, man. And he keeps exhausting me, too. Okay, I have to shuffle my deck. So I'm going to ready everything. I'm going to get an extra encounter card because I have to shuffle my deck. Those 2 boost cards that made me exhaust my identity. That's, man, that was not cool. I could have, yeah, I mean, if those hadn't happened, I would have dealt 6 more damage to him. Or 6 more damage to something, because I would have +1 attack since he has had touched attached to him. I'm going to keep touched attached to him so that I keep retaliate. Oh, crap. That might have been better. Let's do that instead. Instead of removing those 2 threat from Legions of Hell, let's do 3 damage to Sentinel Mark IV because I've got retaliate, so he will die when he attacks me. Yeah, let's do that. So Legions of Hell is still in play with 2 threat. Okay. Shuffling my deck. Hopefully I get defense events. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I am down to 5 health. I did get defense events. Amazing. Okay, so I've got defensive energy, I've got preemptive strike, dauntless, bulletproof bell, and Southern Cross. All right. Southern Cross is a kind of unfortunate that I drew that in a turn where I'm going to play most of my hand during the villain phase, but that's all right. Okay. So he's going to gain 1 threat, which is going to put him up to 5, which means I have to take the top card of my deck and put it under 0 tolerance. So now we're up to 3 cards. So one more card under there and we lose. Okay, then he's going to attack me. I'm going to do defensive energy to play bulletproof bell. He has touched attached to him, so I'm going to prevent all damage from that attack and gain a tough card. He's attacking me for 3, just 3. So I prevent all, then I gain the tough. And he still attacked me, so I have retaliate 1. Then the Mark IV is going to attack me. That's going to make the tough go away. And then I have retaliate, so that's going to kill him. All right. Then I have to deal with 2 encounter cards. First one is Fallen Warrior. Attached to discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an ally. That sucks. I have a few allies in here, but it's going to take me a while to get to one. Okay, Jocasta. Attach this card to it. Treat attached ally as an undead minion. Attached minion scheme is equal to its printed thwart, and it does not take consequential damage. Okay. So I just have a zombie Jocasta. And then my last encounter card is my obligation. If touched is attached to a friendly character, if it's not attached to a friendly character, place 2 threat on the main scheme, discard this card. Okay. Okay. I think I can just kill him now. Yeah. So I'm going to take touched, attach it to Jocasta, because that gives me the aerial trait. I'm going to pay 3 resources and play Southern Cross, and then that deals 6-8 damage, and that's enough to take him out. Oh, man. Finally. That's the first time I've won a solo game of Marvel Champions I lost 7 solo games in a row. So that's my first win in 8 games. So formality, but yes, 100% going to actually move this down to 0. Oh man, that was a good game. Rogue is so fun. and I didn't even necessarily use her to the absolute best of her abilities. She is really cool, especially in that one card that you'll never really use in solo play. You can use it to get your own things, but the card where you can pull events out of other players' decks and play their cards is so cool. It's not always the most efficient thing in the world, because she's obviously a protection character, so she might not be the best at grabbing like leadership events necessarily, but even off aspect cards, they're still going to be good if you have the right situation. So she's just so cool, and the theme is right on point. Obviously, that's her whole thing, is stealing powers from other people and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, we got the win. Took us an hour, but we got the win. So excited. All right. Next game will be another one of my favorite characters. It will be Scarlet Witch versus the Sinister Six. So a Mystic versus some Spider-Man villains. All right, so I will record that video hopefully tomorrow. So we'll be playing Scarlet Witch versus the Sinister Six. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.